everybody. Welcome to episode 7 of the Slow Smoke Pigskin podcast, made for our Dynasty League, Slow Smoke Pigskin on Sleeper. And you know what?
Hello.
I'm thirsty today, everyone. Cheers.
Cheers to the champ.
By the way, I bought
Yep.
this cup like 3 weeks ago and kept forgetting to bring it when we were recording, and at least I finally remembered today.
Yes, what are you drinking out of it? Water?
That is Maker's Mark 101.
Ooh.
If
Ooh.
funny enough, I was gonna pour some Weller Special Reserve, but then I grabbed the bottle and it was like, oh, there's not enough of it to fill this cup to the extent I want to fill it. So I'm grabbing a different bottle. So, yeah.
Very nice.
You got
Hello,
tequila again?
everybody.
You got tequila again today?
Mhm.
At least you're consistent.
I am.
All right.
I am. I like tequila.
All right. So let's talk NFL news real quick before we get into the rest part two of our proposed changes for the league. So, what happened in the NFL since we recorded last?
Major NFL news. We had the championship, the AFC and the NFC championship. The Chiefs beat the Ravens. Niners beat the Lions to set up the Las Vegas Super Bowl with the bet on red Chiefs versus 49ers.
Yeah, so we can finally stop talking about all your baloney conspiracy theories with the purple and the pink and the red. It's all red. Although
I
Janelle
will not
Monáe
go
had,
into anything else that I've heard of recent.
oh,
But no, yes, it's we can put it to rest for this year.
Janelle told me she doesn't like that there's too much red in the Super Bowl because, like, I'm like, well, one team will be wearing white, but
Is it? I just want to know: is it a precursor to the presidential campaign that's coming up that we've got going on?
oh, for I'm so you're telling me we're going back to Trump? Is that the implication? Well,
Hey, I don't
dude,
make this. I don't make this
how,
stuff up. Okay.
I don't want to get into politics, but how is it our two options are a combined 160 years old? Anyways, not going there. So
Nope.
yes, the Super
Not what this
Bowl
is about.
the Super Bowl is going to be in 2 weeks in Las Vegas. I saw a report this morning or earlier today that said that other NFL players are allowed to gamble in Vegas, obviously not bet on games, but allowed to do gambling in Vegas, but 49ers and Chiefs players are not allowed to gamble at all while they're there.
Like they can't go and play blackjack the day before.
Correct. That
Huh.
is the report I saw. So let's hope. I'm just hoping nobody Henry Ruggs it. Oh, too soon.
Oh, too soon.
Yeah.
I'm.
Those games. I
I've
mean,
got faith in these. I got faith in these teams. Like they're there for a reason.
yeah. I watched both games. Chiefs versus Ravens was pretty boring for most of it. Started off before the game with Kelsey throwing Justin Tucker's crap to get it out of the way from Mahomes, then Tucker coming up and being annoyed about it. But
Yeah, Tucker was interviewed and said he was okay with it. Apparently, it's exactly what they do on every single game. 90 minutes before game time, they go to the kickers flip fields or flip sides of the field so they can kick into the wind with the wind, whatever you want to do it. And he said that Mahomes happened to be there and he was pushing the thing, and then Kelsey came over to the rescue and threw the helmet, threw the two balls, and Tucker just had a good kick out of it, and everything was all good, and it was great for TV.
yeah, the funny part is to me that was the start of Travis Kelsey just getting in a different Ravens player head all game. Like, you know, I heard something before that like the Chiefs, all they had to do was make the playoffs, right? And they have confidence that once they make the playoffs, they can go on a run. And so maybe you didn't see the best of them in the regular season, and all of a sudden they're showing up. But Kelsey was some vintage Kelsey making big plays, good catches, and like I said, he was so. I mean, he owned real estate in Patrick Queen's head during the game. So
Yeah.
cheers to them. They won. Lamar, a little rough.
I mean, he was the worst quarterback of the weekend.
Yeah,
MVP of the season, worst quarterback, didn't really stick to the game. I feel like they had a game plan that they worked all season and run the ball, run the ball, run the ball. They had the best. I think they had the best running game against the worst running defense and didn't run the ball. They just tried to pass the ball and pass the ball. They had some misfortunes. I think Flowers
Zay Flowers too.
Zay Flowers fumbled the
That
ball.
fumble.
Like, if that
Yep.
doesn't happen, it's a different story. But again, that's the difference. That's what makes the Chiefs, and that's what makes other teams. For instance, we're going to talk about them in a second, but the Lions, like
Yep.
it'll come. They'll
So
get there, you know?
yeah, let's talk about that one. 49ers and Lions. That was a tale of two halves. Like the first half, Lions were dominant. The game was boring in the first half. It was like, oh my God, the Lions are running away with this.
Thoughts? Yeah.
And then second half, completely different game. It was crazy. And dude, like Purdy looked like he ran better than Lamar.
And that's what I was gonna say. Yeah, like Purdy, he did what needed to be done. They came out in the second half and they said, "Look, if you don't get your first, possibly your second look, run the ball, run it, get some yards. Don't just try
Uh,
to throw an interception. Don't try to throw it someplace that you can't."
oh wait, you mean the coaches didn't tell him to throw Brandon Ayuk a touchdown pass off of the head of a defender?
I don't think that was the setup initially, but it worked out very well for the team. Yes.
Yeah, he didn't call bank.
No, he did not call bank. No. But again, it goes to show you, like, you intercept that ball, it's a different game.
Yeah,
If the Lions catch the ball in the second half, whether they're defense or offense, it's a different game.
yeah.
Uh,
I'm personally not excited to watch the Chiefs and 49ers again, especially because I saw another thing online that pointed out that the last time the Chiefs and 49ers played in the Super Bowl, it was very early 2020, which was a leap year. And then shortly after that game, the world shut down for the pandemic. So now I'm a little nervous.
so now you're into the conspiracies, huh? Okay. All right. Let's talk. Let's go.
All right.
I mean,
What else we got? Any
I
other
could use
news?
another shutdown.
Oh, good God, no, please.
It's not good
Um,
for everybody, but it was good for me. So,
yeah. Anyways, all right. What else we got going on? Anything else?
yeah, I mean, we got some funny stuff. I heard Kadarius Tony is going to the Taylor Swift concert instead of the Super Bowl,
Yeah,
uh,
that's because
for personal reasons.
The Chiefs are hoping to win, so they just
Right.
figured it was better to
The
just
farther
pick that.
away that he is from the stadium, probably the better.
I, I'll,
Um,
I'll give it. Hey, Marquez Valdez Scantling, MBS. He's actually made a couple of decent catches when he's needed to the past couple of games. So
Mr. January.
Rasheed Rice is a legit wide receiver. You don't need no Tony and all his drama that comes with him.
No, you don't need him lining up off sides to lose a Super Bowl. Um, Interview with Kittle referring to Brock Purdy as a scamper, not a runner, and then referred to the lizard that runs across the water,
Oh yeah, I know that one.
Basiliscus. Not sure that, but it's AKA the Jesus Christ lizard.
Oh, so now Purdy's the
A
next
fish.
coming of JC.
Uh, Coincidence?
Bro, you're asking the wrong one. To me, Jesus was some carpenter who people wrote stories about that didn't do anything.
For those of you that don't know, Jesus Christ is the second coming. He's the Lord and Savior of everything. So, except unless you're Aaron.
For those who don't know. All right. On that note,
Moving on. Oh, by the way, just saying, if Mahomes wins, he's definitely in the contention for the GOAT,
yeah, I
the
mean,
greatest of all time. At this point in time,
uh,
how do you bet against him?
he Brady did a lot. I'm not a Brady fan, obviously. He he made plays and did things when he needed to. Mahomes is a different level of quarterback than Brady.
Mm.
Like, if he wins all the championships, then yeah, he can beat Brady outright because I think he's a better actual quarterback. Brady stepped up in big moments and all those things, but we'll see.
It it's hard to compare the 2 because they're 2 completely different quarterbacks,
Yep,
and the new generation of quarterback is different.
yep.
So to compare the 2 is really difficult. So really you're going up with championships. So but again, it just puts him in the conversation is all that I was trying to say. Like he's with the what the Chiefs have done, and they've kind of just flipped that switch and been like, all right, it's playoff time, let's go.
Since he's been a starter, he's never not made it to the AFC Championship game. That's insane. All
All
right.
right. So the purpose of this podcast is this part 2 of proposed rule changes. So do you want to start us off?
Yeah, so we're gonna start to talk about some of the fun ones. So the first one is right now we have our toilet bowl bracket and the results of the toilet bowl. Each loser of each matchup moves on, and then you become the toilet bowl champion if you lose all of them. If you lose all of them, that also means you get the first pick in the draft. Now, what that does is it it gives a incentive for tanking in the playoffs. So we've talked in the past about not wanting people to tank. So one thing I've heard as a way to try and combat that is to use for any team that doesn't make the championship bracket in the playoffs, instead of using the results of the toilet bowl, we use max points for during the regular season. So that is basically the platform will calculate what score you could have had if you set your best lineup every week during the regular season and you go in reverse order of max point four to determine draft order. If you do that, what it's doing is truly giving the first pick to the worst team. Um,
Now, if I understand this correctly, basically the toilet bowl becomes a best ball.
no, 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 no. The toilet bowl actually at that point means nothing other than trying to avoid getting the toilet bowl trophy and punishment that comes with being the toilet bowl champion.
Correct. But your lineup, whether you set maybe I didn't understand this correctly. If you no matter what lineup you set, you're just taking the best lineup wins.
No,
Team.
no. So the toilet bowl results, what goes on during the toilet bowl has no bearing on draft picks whatsoever. What it is your regular season maximum points for.
Oh, gotcha. Okay.
So it's
Okay.
reverse order. So the lowest maximum points for gets
Correct. Okay.
pick, and so on and so on.
Okay.
So that would eliminate people trying to tank. Um, it would give picks to the truly worst teams,
Mm.
but some people like to be able to tank in the playoffs to try and get picks, but it also could potentially make people not pay attention during the toilet bowl because they don't care their draft position's already set. And right now, our toilet bowl punishment isn't that bad, honestly. You get the trophy, you get the first pick, and that's about it, right? And
Mhm.
right now, the way we have our money set up is that we give an admin fee for everybody. Everybody chips in an admin fee. Two-thirds of that money goes to the toilet bowl champ from the pre. I'm sorry, two-thirds goes to the champ from the previous season to get a new plaque engraved for the trophy and to ship the trophy to the new winner. And then the last one-third, so $40, goes to the previous year's toilet bowl champ for him to ship the toilet bowl trophy to the new toilet bowl champ. So, by the way, the next
Either way,
proposed
it's a shitty
rule.
situation.
Huh?
Either way, it's a shitty situation.
It is a shitty situation, but it's not honestly, it's not that bad of a penalty when you get the first pick out of it.
Right.
So, in order to try and make the punishment more severe, we've got a couple of suggestions. The first one is no longer will the toilet bowl champ get any of that admin fee. It is completely on their dime to ship the trophy to the next toilet bowl champ. So that'll make it a bigger penalty. That also being said, I've heard people propose that we do away with the admin fee completely and make the toilet bowl champ pay that fee, pay those fees for everybody. I feel like that's a pretty severe penalty considering we're talking about $100 buy-in for the league. That would be almost probably an extra $100 for the toilet bowl champ. So to double their penalty seems a little steep, but if that's what everybody thinks it should be, that's a possibility. Um, Continuing on proposed ideas, or anything you want to add on that one, Drew? Sorry.
No, I understand it more now.
Yeah. Then another additional penalty to try and make it even worse for the toilet bowl champ. I'm gonna credit Eddie with this one. Him and I were chatting one day, and it was a funny idea. Right now, we hope that whoever gets the toilet bowl trophy is putting it somewhere prominent in their house for visitors to see when they come into their home. However, we have no proof of that fact. You may have it in a Joe might have it in a closet right now. I don't know where Raph had it in his house when he had it. So, to ensure that that trophy doesn't just sit in a closet, I'm proposing that perhaps the we make some method where the current toilet bowl champ gets a request for a picture of the trophy, and to prove the date of when that picture is being taken, the toilet bowl champ has to go buy a newspaper, has to go find where they even sell a freaking newspaper anymore, and has to
Good
go
luck.
buy a newspaper, take a picture with the trophy somewhere out in their house with the newspaper on that date and send it to the league.
Yeah,
Now,
good
we
luck.
obviously couldn't let them do it all the time, so we'd have to set restrictions on how often you could do it, who's allowed to ask it. But hey, go find a newspaper, take a picture, loser.
Go find a newspaper. Yes, I know we talked about this and the punishment for it. Possibly not just for the champion, but for everybody else in the league once a month. You can, everybody can request, not everybody once a month, somebody once a month for the year
Yep.
can request for a picture to be taken. But yeah, I mean, our league is definitely on the much easier side of the loser. We're not going out getting tattoos made or cra- crazy like challenges or anything like that. So yeah, I mean, obviously we hope that somebody has it posted up, even if it's not on their mantle when everybody walks in and sees it, but it's in somewhere where it's visible. But I mean, yeah, it needs to be a little bit more severe than what it is, just to maybe eliminate the tanking, to eliminate the, hey, I don't feel like I need to win, and the first pick isn't worth it to me. So yeah, I think some agreement needs to be come up to, that a rule needs to be changed here
By the way,
for that.
this was the punishment when I made Eddie walk it back a little bit because his original idea was that we make the toilet bowl champ buy a webcam and constantly have it uh, displaying the trophy at all times so that we could go look at it. I felt like that was a little bit of an invasion of their privacy.
I
I think that was too far.
considering he's the toilet bowl champ.
Yeah, I
Maybe
don't
we
know if
should
he
just do it for this year, and then next year we can change the rule back.
yeah, I don't know if he realized that that's what was coming. If he remembered that he was going to be the toilet bowl champ when we had this conversation.
Or maybe he wants us to watch him do his daily chores.
Yeah. All right.
Next,
Okay. So, movie. Anything else on any of those toilet bowl?
I
All
think
right.
we covered it.
So the next idea was to turn every fourth. So the idea is called World Cup, right? Every fourth year of the league, we do a little something extra for the champion. Um, like for example, for the fourth year of the league, actually, this coming up year is going to be our fourth year. So whoever the champ is maybe gets a jersey of their choice or something like that. In general, we could do something every 4 years. We could either have everybody chip in a couple extra bucks, or actually, in this case, um, all the money that I collect for the league, I put in a bank account so that it sits there separate from all of my personal accounts and whatnot, but it earns interest. Over the past, I don't know if anybody remembers this, but when we increased the fee a couple of years ago, I actually had enough money in interest so that $10 a person, I just took that interest and applied it to the buy-in so that it was actually a little bit less. Um, or this year, with the amount of interest we should have by the end of the season, I should have enough in just interest earned with the league dues to just buy the winner a jersey. If we want to do something bigger, okay. If everybody wants to chip in, just thought it was something fun. Every 4 years, you do a little bit extra.
I really like this idea. I think that it not only helps with just an extra incentive, but like every 4 years, like you're gonna go for it.
Yeah, I
You
mean,
might build your it's really hard to go back to back in Dynasty. It's really hard to be repeat champions. So maybe you go, you win, and then you rebuild for that specific year, and that year can become really competitive. And that I mean, I think it's a really good idea. It's a really good incentive. Um, but I don't know if there's anything bad thing about it is if the interest is paying for it, like what's the worst that can happen?
yeah, like I said, if it's a jersey, I think interest should pay for it. Obviously, if interest rate changed and things like that, maybe there wouldn't be as much, and people need to chip in a little bit. But even if they did, it'd be a really small amount because
Right.
you got 12 people in a league, $10 a head, 120 bucks. It adds up quickly. So
Yeah. And who doesn't like, you know, who doesn't like a jersey? I think I've had this jersey for 13 years now.
that's a long time.
I know.
Yeah, time for a new one. You should try and win
I'm gonna try and win next year.
if we vote this in.
I
All
think
right,
I think it'll pass.
I'm pretty confident. Next one, Rivals Week. So this is um that I, as a commissioner, if everybody wanted to select who they thought their biggest rival was, I could manually adjust the playoff, or excuse me, the matchups for a week so that everybody gets to play their biggest rivals, kind of like they do in college. They've got rivalry week, and you'll see like the Ohio State Michigan game and stuff like that. Um, it's a fun idea, but I don't know that we have rivals enough yet in this league other than everybody wanting to beat me. So, um, I don't know that we could set up 6 appropriate rival matchups yet. Other than that, it's a fun idea.
Yeah, I like the idea behind it. Um, to me, more of a rival with the league that we have. We've had a little bit of turnover, so we haven't really had been able to create those rivals where we year after year you're winning or losing against the same team. But and I don't know if this is even possible, but what just came to mind was if there's a point in time where you the rival becomes, oh, I'm going to get into the playoff spot or out of the playoff spot, and you can adjust it. But I don't know. I don't think that would be possible. But you could mark it as a rival week as you're looking forward a couple weeks to where you've got an eighth place against a fifth place, and if he wins, he makes it into the playoffs and it becomes a rival. But um,
I think
the
this
league isn't there yet for rivals, other than
yeah,
kicking Aaron's
I
butt.
obviously like I'm not going to make the decision. The league will make the decision if they want to do this. Even if we don't do it right now, I think it's something to keep in mind for maybe a couple years down the road.
Sure.
Hopefully we don't have this turnover in the league anymore. People start to develop these rivalries.
Hmm.
Um, I could try and beat my wife. That came out.
Uh,
Beat my wife's fantasy football team.
there you go.
Okay, that didn't sound
We
right.
are on YouTube now.
Yeah, well,
So
that's
be
why I had to
careful what you
clarify.
say.
beat my wife's team. Anyways, let's move on from that now. Okay, this next one is I make everything go to a vote if I'm changing rules, but if all of you vote against this, I'll be really mad at you. I want to get rid of the week 18 weekly prize because that was a giant shit show this year. Like it was
This one's a
ridiculous.
no-brainer. No-brainer.
Yeah. The only question becomes do I take that $20 that was supposed to be for the week 18 weekly prize and just put it into the main prize pool? Do you want to increase the weekly prize for weeks 15 to 17? What do we want to do with that difference in money? So that's the real question. If any of you say that I have to do week 18 again, I'm be really mad because it was super annoying because I had to go manually calculate every freaking team. And it sucked. So
And week 18, it doesn't matter.
no,
There's so many like there's so many players that aren't playing in week 18. Now, yes, there are some teams that are still vying for a playoff position. They want to get the divisional championship. Like, yes, that happens. But when you have half your team in and half your team out, and even for the league itself, when you're trying, if you win, you're in, and you go up against a team that everybody is playing against you and you're not like it's not worth it.
there's a reason we don't have playoffs in week 18.
Correct.
And so it just continues. I thought that the weekly prize for week 18 made sense. This was the first year we did the weekly prize big enough that anyone cared. And I realized what a mistake it was this year. So that
Whether you spread the money out between the rest of the weeks, whether it's we put it towards the World Cup or we put it towards something else. Yeah, I just think the week 18 needs to go away and championship week is week 17 and we're done.
Yep. All right. Next one that was proposed is doing an NFL draft competition for the league. Now, this is just something that's supposed to be fun to make the league be interactive in the off season at the time of the NFL draft. It could go something like we all take the top 10 dynasty prospects, those top three quarterbacks and Marvin Harrison and whatever, and we all guess what team they're going to go to. And whoever gets the most right gets some kind of prize. The first prize I thought of was some extra fab in their budget, or something simple like that. Just something that's a little bit extra that you get, but it's not going to make it. Not everybody knows everybody coming out of college, and obviously, and no matter if you do know who's coming out of college, the draft never goes the way anybody expects. But it's just something fun to make us be talking and interacting during the draft. If nobody's interested, so be it. I have I don't remember if it's you, Drew, or somebody else I was talking to about this said, well, make it optional and still give the winner something. And I'm like, yeah, we could do that. And if you don't want to participate, you don't have to. But that's less fun. The whole point is having fun.
Yeah, the idea of fun is I think it's there. I like the idea. I'm willing to participate. Um, if everybody doesn't participate, it can't be a league thing. It would have to be something separate, obviously. I'm all about gambling, especially when it comes to football. So count me in. If you and I want to do this and you want to make it for a bottle of whiskey, like let's go. Um, but I like the thing I like about this idea the most is that Dynasty is all about the rookie draft. And you you didn't know that? Okay.
No, you told me Dynasty was all about trading.
It is all about trading. You only draft 4 players. It's all about the rookie. It's not 100%, all right? It's not absolute. I was trying not to say trade this podcast, and you baited me into it. Okay,
All right. Sorry.
it is.
Yes.
It's all about the trades right now. In what 2 months? It's all about the draft.
Yes, I
Okay.
agree.
Mid-season, it's about a couple of waiver wires and mostly trades. All right.
Deal.
You got me on that one. All right.
All right.
But
So
you want like if you're not doing any research on the rookie draft, like you're not setting yourself up for your potential next 3 years, 2 years at the most. Um, so it kind of gets everybody a little bit involved. So it's fun. I'm down. Um,
we'll see how
but
everybody else feels about it.
if everybody's not in, it can't be a league thing. It would have to be a
Yep.
like a side piece
Your wife allows that?
when it comes to football.
um, so we've got a few minutes left. I had per- I had written down some things that I was gonna wait till next year to propose. Have you seen any of those? Do you want to?
I don't know.
I'll
Have
throw them
I?
out there real quick. We hadn't talked about this at all, so there was a couple other proposals that I was planning on waiting till next year. But we got a couple minutes left, so I'll
We
keep going for a
got
couple minutes.
7 minutes.
7 minutes. Um, One, get rid of the trade deadline completely.
Yeah.
In Dynasty, I've thought about it, and there's probably no reason for there to actually be a trade deadline. If you want to sell out during the playoffs, all means go for it. Now that Adrian's in the league, just to make him happy, I have to at least at some point propose full PPR instead of half PPR because Mr. Biggs prefers it. I am a half PPR proponent, but throw it out there. Uh, if we're gonna go full PPR, I would want to consider going do a points per rush for running backs, like zero point 0.1 points per rush. If you're looking for this in the doctor, it's not there. Um, and,
We I thought there was a spot where we were going to increase. Was that's what you're talking about? Okay.
um, and then and then the last idea was a league bet. Um, did you tell me about this one or Janelle? Janelle might have thrown this one at me. So
Hmm.
we get everybody to chip in 10, 20, 50, whatever dollars. We all agree on a really long odds, year long bet. Okay, I
Well,
thought it would
Janelle
be
may have said something about it too, but
yeah.
this was me.
So we all put $10 together. That's $120. We go put something on like
Like the
plus
Cowboys
five.
winning the Super Bowl.
Yeah. Oh fuck. Like let's do something like really
Dak
crappy
Prescott winning
team.
a playoff game.
I need bigger odds. We need something
Oh,
that's like plus
those are,
5,000 or something.
those are the biggest odds you're going to get next year.
Anyways, we need something like plus 5,000, plus 10,000, some ridiculous odds, and throw some money down on it because if we win it, we all pay for a destination draft.
That's what I'm talking about, right there.
I mean, most likely we're throwing our money away, but if by some shocking way it comes through, we uh we all get to go on a trip somewhere.
Oh, cool. No kids. Sorry.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, by the way, the money is only paying for the people in the league. So no
Right.
spouses either.
Can my wife be in the league next year?
Does she play?
That's not fair. That's not fair.
Actually, it's not fair to me because then I have to take mine. Oh, I'm in trouble. If she
She
actually watches
listens
this
to this.
episode, I'm so in trouble. Just kidding. The problem for us would
I
be
want her to go. So,
I know, I do too. The problem for us would be then finding someone to watch the kids.
well, well, I'd rather have that problem and
Yeah,
win 15 G's so we can all have a destination draft.
there you go. All right, so
There's multiple people in this league that probably have kids, so we can just get one babysitter. They can watch them all.
there you go. Perfect.
By that time, Lily will be 12.
Yeah.
Cool.
Carson's already 12. He can watch everybody.
Perfect.
Yeah. So I don't know if should I throw those last ones in for this year or save them for next year? Do we have too many things to vote on already?
We got a lot of things going on. Honestly, if the more we throw on, it really depends on how many people. I don't know. How many people are going to show up to the meeting on February what?
18th.
18th?
Yep.
Um,
By the way, I'm hoping everybody makes it. If for some reason you truly can't make it, get with me. I'll go over these rules. I don't want people to forfeit their vote because they didn't show up. If like really try and make it, please. If not, I'll get with you and get your vote. But let's just interact, people.
we've talked about it on the. I mean, I know you don't want to listen to us talk, but if you can't make it, go back to what episodes 6 and 7.
Yep.
Listen to them. We talk about it. They're there. Um, if you can't make it, but it honestly is a fun. It's a fun time to get together, to hear people, to see people that you should be interacting with for 9 months out of the season,
Ironically, like
6 months out of the season, whatever you want to call it.
this is the first time in the league where I legitimately I don't know Eric Cooper. I've never seen him. I've never heard him. So it would be awesome to
Yeah,
finally put a face to the name and whatnot.
for sure.
All
We
right.
don't have to make it. We don't have to make it too long. Um,
It's
Obviously,
scheduled for an
people can put in
hour.
their
We
pros and
got
their cons.
we got an hour long. Like I said, I'm gonna send out all this information beforehand so that hopefully you're coming in with knowing what you think and maybe come up with an idea or two to sell it to people if you need to or why you're against it. But other than that, it'll only be a couple minute debate and then we vote. So yeah.
Yep.
All right, Drew.
But when it comes week 18 or in the playoffs and people are trading and you're like, oh, wait a second, we can do that? Like,
Yeah,
well, yeah, you should have been to the meeting.
there you go.
Anyways, just one example. But yeah,
So that's all the rule changes. We'll figure out what we're gonna talk about next week. But
good luck in your Super
typically,
Bowl squares.
what was that?
Good luck in your Super Bowl squares.
Yeah, the Drew's spending like hundreds of dollars on Super Bowl squares already, apparently.
Well, it's not only do I have a gambling problem, but my wife does too.
Yeah. There you go. All right. Well, cheers, Drew. That was fun.
Cheers. I love your mug.
Yeah, buddy.
Yeah.
Talk to y'all next week.
See you guys.
Bye.